Morning traders. So today was a bit of a wash on our $1 million trading profits journey. I definitely did a lot better on my positioning sizing today, and I can't wait to dive into that with you guys. But first, I want to show you one of these trades that I took, which is, I feel like, one of the most annoying losers a trader can make, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's go right to the trading screen and hear your guys' thoughts and look at these tickers here, and boom. So this is my wash day. It's a scratch. I'm up $13. So in a second, you guys will see the trade that saved the day for me. But let's actually start with the biggest loser and then work our way up. That would be EVTL, $428 down on this one. A little bit annoying. Kind of sounds like an evil ticker, EVTL. Let's go to the daily. Actually, let's just go right to the 1 minute chart and look at this one a little bit. And actually, it's crawling up here with a decent little chunk of volume. But you know what? I'm done. I'm ready for the weekend. It was like my worst week of the year. And I just feel like the more I trade, it's just the worse it gets. So this ticker popped up. Nothing really interesting at first on the daily. A lot of resistance above, and then we hit that resistance. We actually slightly broke above that resistance right before the pattern ended. And then just check here on the 5 minute, you can see it was a really nice run. Now, what I did on this one was my first trade was actually okay, smaller size, exactly what I was planning to do. Basically, half average size for my first trade on a new ticker until the market really heats up. But I'll be doing that for probably the next few weeks at least to kind of hone in on this new rule of half sizing first and then going to average size and doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x size from there. So this ticker pulled back, didn't have the continuation. And right here, I was actually green at this point. I was holding here and then it dumped on me. And again, I was just not able to stop out quick enough. It's not even the fact that I was hesitating or anything. I'm usually very quick to stop out. It's just, it flushed in pre-market. It was like kind of spotty. You could see here the volume wasn't that great. And I was just chasing my exit. And I hate when I do stuff like that. So, you know, breakout or bail out, especially in this market. So this was an honest mistake on my end. I should have closed my position when this ticker right here failed. You can actually see I try to close my position here on this one, and I got a small size of an exit, but ultimately I actually ended up closing most of my size here and then a little bit more almost at the perfect low here. So EVTL just was lacking that continuation. And man, this ticker is actually really running right now. Look at that perfect pullback here after a 5 minute breakout, having that continuation. Volume is okay. You know, ideally at this point, I'd like to see over 1 million shares, but you know, on a slow bear market like we're having right now, just low momentum this whole entire week, you can't even really complain about that. Who knows what's going to happen? We've been seeing so many flushes, so I would just have a hard time trusting these tickers. And I think that's probably also why I just haven't been doing that great this week, because my confidence is a little bit low. So everything I look at, every ticker I look at, I'm just like, ugh. And actually, if I was probably even less confident, it would have saved me this week even more, because I went in with probably a little bit too aggressive size, as you guys know, most of this week. NEXI, so this ticker I'm down 147 on. Let's just look at it really fast here. This is the ticker with the most annoying setup. Let me hear your guys' comments. So daily chart, nothing too beautiful. High relative volume, but a lot of resistance right here at 230. 5 minute, just a giant chop fest. Now, what I did on this ticker is once we were crawling to the front side, nice little 5 minute breakout here, I actually bought a little bit too high here, and but luckily small size, very small size. And then I bought a little bit more here, eventually getting stopped out at the perfect low right for this ticker to bounce back up. I went rebought here looking for that continuation. It didn't work. I closed this one right away. This was just a scratch. And then it ends up working. I find these to be really frustrating setups, because you have the right idea, everything actually ends up working, except your timing and your execution's a little off because the ticker is just a little bit more shaky than you were expecting. I find these to be very frustrating. Luckily, NEXI for me didn't really dig me in a big hole, but it was just kind of annoying, especially for the fact that, you know, if I had 2 max red days this week and all my green days were just total scratches, so it just feels like when these things happen, they're just like that extra smack in the face. But it is what it is. But I definitely find those one of the most annoying things to happen as a trader. Maybe the only thing worse is getting stuck in a solid flush like that. That's probably like really frustrating, especially if it holds to the downside. That's happened to me before. Several times, but I find these to just be like really aggravating little situations right here. Especially the dangerous thing is sometimes if you start getting into that revenge mode and then you start chasing and then you give back profits again and you kind of fall into this really dangerous sequence of events that kind of triggers you. So you really want to avoid over trading these kind of situations. If it pops, you know, so be it. It's totally fine, but you know, don't get too aggravated about it, and just kind of understanding that you are getting aggravated is sometimes half the battle. Now we got SONM as well. On the daily, you'll see right here, really low relative volume, so not so interesting. 5 minute, also not the most beautiful setup. And then the 1 minute, I actually did go right here for the pullback around 0.75. Got a quick little entry with smaller size, but then just sold right away. I just really didn't like the volume. I'm not even really sure why I traded this one. Probably because there wasn't that much opportunity pre-market. But once I realized like this was just a total like nonsense trade, I just went ahead and closed it quickly. Took my 20 bucks and left. I didn't even know what I was up at that point. It was tiny position size, but yeah, kind of an unnecessary trade. And then we have USEA, one of the nicest tickers today, which I mean, that might be too generous. Let's go to USEA. I'm up 569 on this one, so at least a little bit of green. On the daily, this is a new IPO ticker. We actually been trading this one several times in the past. This is the really interesting ticker we talked about from 0.8, so 80 cents, and then it ran all the way to 8.95, more than a 10x move, right before pulling all the way back down to 250 roughly. And then today it had kind of what it felt like a huge dead cat bounce day. Just really, really weird price action here. Let's actually look at the 5 minute a little bit more in detail. So you can see here, we found that base. Actually, it was way lower, like 210 or so. And then we just had that huge 200+% move from the low. And, 5 minute on the pre-market session right here was kind of okay, but also really not that great. We didn't get like super nice continuation. It was a little bit choppy, and you'll see where I traded this one. First, when we went back above VWAP, I actually ended up trading this move. My size was smaller, which is okay. It was actually a pretty decent winner. It was like a 4% winner or so, but the size was still small enough, which is okay. I just, in this market, I'm more focused on risk management, and I wish I was more focused on risk management on the other days this week, because oftentimes my problems was, since I'm trying to size right now, was just jumping in on a first ticker that failed and then giving back too much profits and then getting close to my max loss. That really was what set me off several times this week, to not be able to crawl out of the hole because there was not a lot of opportunity. So I'd rather just focus on risk management right now until we see like back-to-back days of more action. And plus, it's July. I mean, we're in dead summer. This is historically one of the worst times for day trading anyway. So it's not like I really should be gunning it as hard as I am. So I traded this pullback here. This one I got a little bit too aggressive on. I had a hold through this pullback and eventually kind of sold here for break even. And I don't know. I don't even know if this was a red or green trade here at the end. Eventually pops back up. It's back in play. I do some small trades here, but I'm not really able to get so green on it. I just feel like I'm fumbling a lot. It wasn't until the market opened, and you'll see here on the 5 minute a little bit more in detail, that I was able to do a little bit better in this area. Got a few small trades to the front side. This was actually pretty good momentum here. It was like almost a 30% run. Really good setups, especially this 1 minute pullback here. But I didn't trade it nearly as good as I should have. Let me remove the trades for a second. And then I traded this pullback. I started sizing here at this 515 zone, and unfortunately kept on selling off. We weren't getting that quick resolution. And then I basically sold here for break even right before the pop. But this pop was so quick, I'm not even sure if I would have been able to exit unless I had limit orders ready to go. It was literally like a flash pop and then it came right back. So really, really tricky market today. Just that classic lack of continuation. Then I was basically getting ready for the recap video and I was documenting my trades, and then I saw USEA pop up again and I started trading it right again in this area. I bought this pullback, had a little win, and then I traded it one more time here looking for continuation that I basically figured we weren't going to see. Again, I don't like, trying to predict necessarily what a ticker is going to do. I want to follow that price action. I want to follow that front side as long as possible. But in this really, really weak market, plus it's a Friday, I really felt like there was a low chance for continuation here. So as it moved up, I just closed and took my profits. This trade was pretty good because I did like 1.5 times average of my position size, which was good because it was a pretty decent setup right here, getting this entry on the 9 EMA, looking for that continuation. So I was pretty happy on how I treated my position size today. And you'll see that right away in my stats as well. You'll see a lot of my entries here were smaller for the first trade. So this is my cost per trade. So the first time I was trading a ticker, I was using smaller size, which was really nice, helped me avoid some losers. I did have a bigger loser here on EVTL, but that's fine. It was actually an okay setup in a way. So here's that EVTL. I just didn't cut my losses quick enough. That was this big loser right here. So that was my mistake. I just didn't cut my losses quick, but my sizing was good. I wasn't doing like, 2-3x size for no reason. So that was really good. And then as, USEA was heating up, I was trading bigger size. I just wasn't really getting any good wins on it. So this was more like execution problem on my end. And then, right here, that last trade on USEA, sizing up right here on that 9 EMA was allow me to walk away at least green today. No big win or anything, but at least green and not another red day. So I'm pretty happy about that. You can see my largest winning trade, my largest losing trade are pretty similar in terms of ratio. And that's what I like in terms of like cost. So I didn't have a giant loser with huge size and then my biggest winner is with tiny size. That always really aggravates me when your position sizing is totally off. It's never a good thing. So today I really focused on that and I didn't have a great day, but at least I avoided a lot of red. I just didn't cut my losses quick enough on that one loser, and that's fine. Honest mistake there. Winning ratio, pretty nice, but again, my risk reward just not really that great. I really got to tighten this up, holding some of my losers a little bit too long. I gotta say my running P&L is a little bit a joke this week. I've always had I was constantly crawling to the upside. On Monday I was up 700 and then I closed for a max loss. Tuesday also I was up 400 and then I basically closed for break even. Wednesday just was never good. I was never able to get into the green. Thursday was just continuous sell off, another max loss. And you can see here, today I was just kind of in the green and then I again gave it all back in one big flush. So a lot of this really represents the lack of opportunity we had this week, along with my problem of position sizing and sometimes getting too aggressive on really weak opportunities. So this was totally a deserved red week. Obviously, the opportunities weren't really there either, but I should have been a little bit more vigilant and reflective to know that. And to think I was so happy that this was the first 5-day trading week in 4 weeks. If you see here, this is the first full week I had. Last week, it was only a 4-day trading week. We had a holiday on Monday. The week before that, I took Friday off. Then there was another holiday, so that was a 4-day week. And then I took this Friday off, so that was only a 4-day week. So it's been, for what feels like forever since I had a 5-day trading week. I was excited about it and just ends up being, I think, my worst week of the year, which sucks. But, that's just how the cards fall sometimes. And you can only laugh at it and hopefully learn something from it. That's always the most important part. But yeah, that's the tough part about wanting to increase position size. When you start increasing position size, maybe the market starts its worst week ever. And that's kind of what it felt like. This is actually exactly what happened last year in October. And that's why I'm having a little bit of PTSD right now, having those flashbacks where I had one of my biggest red weeks right here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Just zoomed in a little bit on this one. This is where I had my back-to-back max losers. And this is when I was trying to scale my position size as well. I just totally tripped over myself. So I feel like I'm having that same situation. I increased my position size and I started totally tripping over myself. And then I actually ended up reducing my position size. So I want to actually keep that mentality, keep increasing my position size, focus a little bit more on when I increase my position size. I feel like I have a little bit more of a system, as I talked about in yesterday's recap video. So if you're wondering about that system, watch yesterday's recap video. I totally go into how I'm going to do it. And I think that's really important because that allows me to keep increasing my position size instead of scaling back, because that's the direction I need to go in. I can't be scared of the size. I just got to be more objective with how I go about sizing. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. I'll see you then first thing Monday morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.